Okay, guys, this is a quick disco demo. I'm not going to keep you guys on here for very long at all, but I really want to go through some of the main features that separate disco. Not really like, oh, hey, here's where you can put a client, and here's where you can, create a letter, stuff like that. I want to focus on the things that can really separate disco from the other available options out there. One thing that I start with, guys, we never, ever, ever down other options, right? Everybody out there has their niche. They have their thing that they fit. They have their people and their groups, and some of them have different things that we have. But I want to focus, instead of focusing on a negative of what they have or don't have, we will be focusing on the positives of what we can offer. So that's what is going to be going on today. I'm going to click share my screen here. Share my desktop. I'm going to bring up there's that mess that was happening. Okay. So when you log into Disco, one of the things that people notice really quickly is the dashboard. Yeah, there's the people messaging me about yeah, Dusty, help me out with that, because I want that stuff to not be on there. All right. So one of the things when you log into Disco that most people like to kind of find out about is the dashboard. And in the dashboard, we have a way to keep your dashboard separated where it doesn't have to look like everybody else's, so to speak, right? Can you import from Identity IQ? Well, you guys just jump right into the questions, don't you? We do not import from Identity IQ at this time. We're actually, the only issue that I have, here's where I'm at on importing. I just built one, right? I fought it for forever. That's all right, JJ. I fought it for forever, and I didn't want to build a scraper. And we finally found a company that was going to let us import direct from their XML file, right? So they were going to actually let us import and not scrape, right? There's a pretty, yeah, there's a pretty significant difference between a file that they allow you to upload and one where you go grab the stuff off of their page. I'm sure you guys understand the difference. We didn't want to do it without permission and scraping. The reason is they purposefully kind of change up what they'll call a field. You guys will notice in a lot of other softwares to where just for a day or two or three at a time, the scraper just stops working. Well, it stops working because they've changed what they call a field, or they've changed one little layout thing, and it breaks the whole thing because a computer doesn't understand to just go, oh, well, okay, they changed this field from date _of _activity to, date of activity. The computer doesn't know, it's not common sense. It has no common sense, so it only reads exactly. We built an importer for the credit updates program that was really, really exciting for a few people for a minute. Then they had their little FTC issue, and so basically I just wasted several weeks and multiple thousands of dollars building a scraper. We are going to work with another company or two to provide an import. However, let me explain something really, really clear to you guys. You manage your what report you get by who pays you the most. That's just the way it works. Because I can get data entry for $2 an hour, $3 an hour. And if I can get data entry for $3 an hour, let's say it takes me an hour to put in a file, which is crazy. It doesn't. But even if it takes you an hour to put in a file, you still spent $3. And I don't know what your audit fee is or whatever, but come on. It's cheap. Just outsource the data entry. Everybody talks about the time. Well, you shouldn't be doing data entry. If you own your company and you're doing data entry, I assure you, you're doing something wrong. So outsource the data entry to, I use people in the Philippines. It's between $2 and $3 an hour. So there's your scraper one way or the other. So it's really, really simple. On your dashboard, so back to the demo here real quick. And again, feel free to ask questions, I don't mind, but it's widget based. So what this means is that I've got current clients, current leads, current partners. But let's say for some reason I wanted current partners, current leads, current clients. Well, I could just go over here and go, current partners, add current leads, add, and current clients. Now, how you want your dashboard is completely up to you. I've got my milestone widget here, which a milestone widget is really, really awesome. It's one of those things that does separate because it gives you a almost, you can kind of think about it like a funnel, I guess, but it's milestones of where somebody is along the way. So I might, as an example, let me get rid of this and put client milestones there instead. So this might be a better example for you guys. So client created, audit complete, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, advanced rounds, file complete, goal reached. So if I have, X number of people at round 1, I can come and click it and it would open up a list of, or round 2, it would open up a list of who's there. And then I can see, okay, who's here and who's over here, and it would open up those lists of those people and where they are. So it gives you a quick visual representation of where your people are along the process. There's a map widget here, which is really great. It allows you to, again, visualize where geographically your people are. You can have this on here or you can not have it on here. All of these filters are widget based. So like this demo has 8 clients in it. I can say, I want to separate those clients by status or by date. I want, how many did I get yesterday? I put 7 of them in here yesterday. How many in the last 30 days? Well, only 7. How many within the month? How many did I put in last month? How many did I, all of them. Whoops. All of them. 8. So it's filterable. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on that because when you click on it, it takes you to a list of the people. So if I wanted to click on my dashboard of current clients, it takes me to the list. I can also filter my milestone widget. Who reached this milestone on that day? How many people reached milestones yesterday? It's really great for those that manage their leads because you can say, okay, how many new leads did I get yesterday? How many of them were reached out to? How many of them, whatever, moved along your particular milestones? It's really simple to set up these milestones. You go to admin, you go to campaign, and you click on milestones. You have 3 different lead milestones, client milestones, partner milestones. Your lead milestones display on a lead. Your client milestones display on a client, and your partner milestones display on a partner. So if you're on a partner record, you're going to see partner milestones, right? Your partner milestones might be, what about started and then sent first client and then maybe sent 20th client, and then, I want to show those on partner, show on partner, show on partner, save all. There you go, close. So started, sent first client, sent 20th client, they're yours. You set them up however you want. That's how easy they are to change, right? So that's your milestones. The idea with milestones, guys, is it lets you follow along. Now, this is a task widget, right? I'm allowed to set myself tasks in the system, and I can attach those tasks to a particular record. Now, this is a list, but guys, the best way to deal with tasks is in your My Day. A good idea is most of your employee type of people will live their day in My Day. So they're going to come in, they're going to have a whole bunch of tasks that the system has automatically scheduled for them. When they click on a task, it's going to open that person. Well, first of all, it tells me that the task is overdue. Call this, right? It's a different task. Find one that's attached to a record here. There you go. So when it attaches to a record, it actually opens that client's record right here. So it tells me to do something, whatever that task tells me to do, and then here's the record that I'm supposed to do it on. So I do the thing that I'm supposed to do, and then I just mark it as deleted, and it takes it off and puts it over into my completed tasks. So let's say I did that, okay, and I did that, great, and I did that, great, and I did that, great. If I've completed all my tasks for that day, I'm good to go because I'm scheduling all of my tasks based on actions in the campaign builder. And I'll show you that in just a second as well. The campaign builder is period, bar none, the most powerful thing that's available in the credit repair industry, period. Just, I have zero doubts. I would debate anybody on it. But this My Day is also pretty great because it allows your people to come in and then just do their work. We spend so much time each day trying to decide what to do next, right? We spend, okay, whose file am I supposed to work on? Okay, I need to work on that. What am I supposed to do with that? What do I do with this? Where am I going next? Don't worry about where you're going next. Worry about what's the next task. And if you've set up your system properly, then every task occurs when it's supposed to happen. That happens through the campaign builder. Now, if I'm in here in clients and I open this client, let's say, and I'm looking through their record, what you're seeing there also is what's called a status alert, right? What that means is when I set up my company statuses, I created them that they will alert me on certain statuses. Now, if you look that they are awaiting report, right? Continue. Let's say I refresh that list and I go back to Candace. You see that it didn't pop up the status alert because there's nothing that really needs, that's just their status. However, if their status, let's say, is past due, and then a person tries to go to Candace, it pops up, past due, get manager approval before continuing. The reason that we have that is, as embarrassing as it may be, guys, we've worked on files for 3, 4, 5, 6 months sometimes before realizing that they had missed a payment and were past due, and they never got fixed. So now, when a payment is missed in the system, it automatically marks them as failed payment or past due, and then moves them forward. Brian, thank you. Me too. I know it's embarrassing to say, but we've all done it. You work on a client forever because your processing department didn't realize to look at the status or whatever, so they just kept going. Well, now, if they're a certain status, you can make that status pop up where they have to click this button before they can view that record. Guys, that right there just made you money. Hear that. So you've got their progress tab. Again, it's going to show all of their milestones. It would show their progress and a score tracker. Let me use somebody in here that's got some stuff. This is our kind of our sample person. So I click on progress. She's made it all the way to round 3. You're looking at your Equifax process, your Experian progress, your overall progress. She's had 11 of 66 deleted, 9 of 66 repaired, 5 of 66 partially repaired, 41 of 66 are still negative. Don't get me wrong, horrible round 3 results, but you get it. One thing that we do also offer is what's called partially repaired. It's a way really more for you to notify the client, hey, this isn't fully fixed, but you did have 19 late payments and now you only have 3. So it's partially repaired. We're going to keep working, but it's partially repaired. We also offer the score tracker there. Can't hear you. Well, we are recording. If it does cut out at all, I'm going to give everybody out this recording as well. And I'm recording it on my machine. I'm not recording it over the web, so it should be a really clear and good recording. Notes, guys, every system has notes. The cool one about this one is you can have note templates that you save. So I want like a lead note and then or client notes and then let's say client requested password. It would automatically insert the title, the note, who it's viewable by, and then you can make that note do things. So let's say that I've got client requested password as a note template. I can go into my campaign manager and I can say every time I add this note, I want the system to automatically shoot that client out an email with their password and log in inside that email. I can make that happen just by adding the note. We're not automating out people, we're automating out actions. So like the person calls and they say, hey, can I get my password? You go, sure, no problem. You go in, you click client requested password, you click save. It automatically adds the note, client requested password, but then it would send them out an email that says, hey, here's your password that you requested automatically. So it saves you the time of going and sending that email. We also have these buttons up here. We call them activity buttons. You can make things happen with those buttons, right? You can make stuff happen. So if you try to call somebody and their voicemail was full, you could click voicemail full, and it would automatically send them out an email that says, hey, I tried to reach out to you, but your voicemail was full. If you don't mind, give me a call back at blah, 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 blah. And you can preset what those buttons do in the campaign manager. The items are handled a little bit different. For one, it's really easy to mark something as deleted. You click it and you go deleted. One thing quick also is if you've on a pay for delete, it automatically added that item to their invoice as well. The other thing, you can sort your items by type. You can also search your items. So if I'm on all items and I search and I go 000, well, it pulls up the items that match 000, so I can find things if I'm trying to find a specific item on somebody's report. You also see it searches super fast, so 000, there it is, right? Audit and review. The auditor is really, really great. I don't want to get into too much of like running and how to build out your audit and all of those things, but you build out a document in your system that all you have to do is click Run Audit. Then it's going to ask you which version. You can use up to 3 different versions. We're going to say I want to use version 1, continue. It's going to ask you for the date. It's going to ask you for where you got it. We tried to put in a bunch of different ones here, but let's say we got it from Credit Check Total. Is the monitoring account accessible? Yes, it is. Here's the scores were 478 and 501 and 622. How many inquiries? 3, 3, 3. Next. Is the name showing properly? Yes, it is. Are there any misspellings? No. Is there any AKAs? Yes. There's one here and one there and one there. Is the year of birth accurate? Yes, it is. Is the client's address accurate? No. It's accurate on Equifax and Experian, but it's inaccurate on TransUnion. Are there any additional addresses? Let's say no. Next. Here's all of their items that are listed in the system, right? And then it's going to say select a grade. Well, I'm going to select a D and a D and an F. Next. Now it says the consumer's report was of average layout with no uncommon characteristics. The reported scores were listed as this, this, and this. It's not uncommon to see a large difference between the listed scores. That's because there was a significant difference. If there's not a significant difference, it says, although these scores are quite close, it's not uncommon to see a large difference in the listed scores. So it kind of preps them for, as they go through the process, their scores may jump at different times. Okay, next. Now I can add conclusions. These little buttons right over here to the side, I pre-write things that I'm going to tell. Don't you tell clients that their utilization is too high all the time? Of course you do. So you click it, boom, and then it would automatically put that into their audit. That's it. You can also type in stuff and tell them those things. Finish. Now you just created this document for them, right? All of their items, all of their lists, all of their, you come down here to their personal info. Your registration info listed your name as J. Marie, middle name, her name's middle name. When checked against the credit report, this was shown to be accurate on Equifax, accurate on Experian, and accurate on TransUnion. There are 1 AKAs and 0 misspellings on Equifax, 1 AKA and 0 misspellings of your name on Experian. Our recommendation is the removal of all incorrect or former names. We compared your year of birth to your file. When checked against, it's shown to be accurate. Recommendation, blah, blah, blah. The inquiry section, their items. Guys, come on, look at this. This item is an unpaid judgment. Due to being unpaid, it's considered a severely negative item. Lenders view judgments much like collections. The balance isn't quite as important as the time since the occurrence. One good thing is that the item is starting to age. After a few years, they get info on every single item on their report, plus a giant, credit info section. This is an audit. It actually kind of frustrates me when people go, oh, I did an audit for my client. Oh, look at this audit. And then they didn't. They did not do an audit. They did an overview or maybe even a consultation. But an audit is an in-depth review. So imagine if you called the IRS and they were like, hey, we looked over your taxes for a second. They look okay. Welcome to your audit. That's not an audit. An audit is an in-depth, line by line, broken down. This is an audit. This is what an audit looks like, right? Line by line, where is everything at? Where are the conclusions? All of those things. they get access to that in their portal just by, that's how fast it took. We just did it, 3-4 minutes. Here's where they do letters. Letter creator, very, very simple. You just open it up. You tell them where you want to go. I want to go to credit bureaus. I want to do all items, or let's say I don't want to do personal info. I just unclick it. Next. I want to send, round 1. I want to send a simple round 1. What's cool is I can choose to do this for all items to all bureaus, or I can click this and select different ones. But most times we're sending the same sample idea of a letter to the creditors, right? Or to the bureaus. We want to send a round 1 to all 3. So I click next. Then what do I want to do with it? I want to include their docs. I can include a power of attorney. If I'm, let's say I'm doing to creditor, I can choose to include the power of attorney. I can open it now. I can add it to the batch. I can send it to client. All of those things I can do. When the new Disco Premium launches, you'll have a little button right here that says fax to bureau, and it will automatically fax those letters to the bureau. Done. You're done, right? I can preview edit the letter to see what it's going to look like by clicking this. It's going to open that letter up. Hey, here's your stuff, whatever. I've got that. She's got some, it's a bunch of junk, so you guys understand that there's items in there with no names and stuff like that. The other day, I looked at a printout of my credit file and saw multiple mistakes. Hear that, okay? Because I'm going to cancel, preview. Last week, I viewed a version of my credit record and saw several. Do you guys realize that I clicked the same letter, but I've got completely different wording? The way our spinner works is it's this little button right here. Let's say that I wanted to edit this letter. I can edit it right here. I don't have to go to a new screen. I want to spin some stuff. Like I want to put 1, add 2, add 3. Okay, right? When this letter gets created, it would automatically select either 1, 2, or 3. So what I did is I created, like my round 1 letter says last week, the other day, a few days ago, recently, and it goes through and picks one of the options. I viewed, I looked at, I went over, I reviewed, I glanced at, whatever. A copy, a version of my credit record, file, report, history, and I saw, noticed, some, several, multiple, incorrect accounts, items, notations, right? You can put in all of these different words, and then it will automatically create every single letter that you create would be different. So I'm going to cancel that, and then all I have to do is just click finish, and I just created letters for that client. They showed up in the client's portal. Then they also, if you chose print now, they would automatically open up in the print page. If you click to add them to batch, they would show up in the batch printing. There they are. There's 3 of them. So I added that. I can print them just by clicking here, or I can print them individually by clicking here. All right. On your leads, guys, one cool thing about our leads is they're just like clients, only they're separate. But your leads can have items. Your leads can have tasks. Your leads can have scripts, right? You can put scripts right here. And if I want to select a script, whatever, and I want to select this script, it opens up. Let me select one with some stuff in it. Lead scripts. Maybe there's one in there. Testing scripts. Yeah. So I open up a script. You'll notice it says hello test developer. That's because it inserted that person's name. It doesn't say hello first name. It says hello. It puts their name in there. Here's some text you want your salesperson to read. You can ask questions in the scripts. And then, guys, this is one of the second most powerful things as well. Let's say I ask, do you own a home? And they say no. Oh, is that one of your goals? Yeah, it is. I really want to buy a home. Great. Are you currently working with a realtor? No, I'm not. Okay, awesome. Well, I know that when I get that person to a place where they're able to buy, I've got an amazing way to start a new referral relationship, because I'm not going to start with, hey, send me your clients. I'm going to start with, hey, realtor, I've got this client that's ready to go. I'd like to send him out to you. He needs to buy a house. Is that all right? Can I send him over to you? You think they're going to say no? They're going to be like, yeah, and go, great. We help people like this all the time. So if you have people that need help with that, just go ahead and send them to me and we'll try to get them back to you, all right? Now, you started with value automatically, so getting them to work with you is way easier. You can say, answer this thing. I want to buy a car. I want to buy a house. I want to start a business. Whatever their goals may be, you answer those questions, and then you can tag those leads to later be searchable by their answers. So I click submit, puts that, there it is. I can come back anytime I want and view it, right? There's their lead. I viewed it. I viewed their script, whatever. I can convert them to a client with a single button here. We've got a messaging system that's built throughout. So if they, guys, I like getting my leads into the portal. Like your lead can have portal access because you can do, like what's wrong with doing a file review for a lead? Right? You put their stuff in. It cost me $2 to get their file put in. I go through, I do a little file review for them, and then I make that available in their portal and say, hey, go check it out. You're getting interaction at that point. They're logging into your system. You're being able to talk to them. You're being able to communicate. You're being able to keep them engaged. Let me grab a charger here real quick. Can you help me with that, Amanda?
That's what I was looking for a while ago.
So you keep them engaged. When you're keeping them engaged, you now have the ability to really communicate with them. And if you're communicating, sales go up. That's just the way it works. Any salesperson will tell you when you're communicating with somebody, the likelihood of sales go up. Because if you're not communicating, what are you just waiting for them to decide to give you money? It's not the way it works. You've got a documents tab where you can store all their documents. You've got agreements. You can put your agreements through here. You can add their, you click add document. Let's say I wanted to add somebody's ID document. I just click ID. I click next step. I want to drop the file here. Let me grab a file to drop in there. Sorry, I'm running a little slow today, guys, but I want to drop in this, this file right here. Open that back up. Okay, so I want to name it this or whatever, and I describe it as that, and it's ID 1. You can store up to 3, and I'm going to say it's a driver's license. I click next. It's going to say, please check to see if you can clearly read the document as uploaded. Yep, I can. Okay, save. And I just uploaded a document to that person that I can now include when I print their letters. Super easy. Campaign is where it gets tricky, and campaign is where people start being like, oh, disco, I don't know, it's hard. I get it. Guys, it's not that it's hard, it's that there's a learning curve. That would be like being like, being a lawyer is hard. Well, no, there's a learning curve. Being a doctor is hard. No, there's a learning curve. You have to learn how to use it. If you're familiar with Infusionsoft, you'll get it quicker because it was built kind of off of the ideas in and around Infusionsoft. We used Infusionsoft for a long time. I'll show you how that works 1 second. Activity stores every time that something, every time something happens, it's going to go in their activity of, what's happening. You created letters, you did this, you did that, whatever. To give you a better idea of activity, I'm going to come over here to client. I'm going to go to, you'll watch how fast this searches, but I'm going to go find J. There she is. I click it. I want to go to her activity. Close. Her activity. Oh, I missed something to tell you that I thought's pretty cool. What did I load? Whatever that was, I didn't mean to do that. I got to slow down. Oh, I was sending her a text. I didn't want to send her a text. So, J. I click her. We open her up. It tells me that she has no status. That's an alert of if somebody doesn't have a status, it alerts you because your campaign is best built off of statuses. So based upon their status, you're being able to send them emails. You're being able to set reminders. You're being able to do all of that. So if somebody doesn't have a status, you want to know that. Close. All right. So if I come over here to her activity, she has a lot of it. Surely I haven't lost my internet connection. Can you guys still hear me? All right, there we go. She has 13,000 entries because every time something happens, an item was deleted. Remember when I marked that item as deleted? An item with the amount of, this was deleted. I changed this. I added that. If I wanted to view more, let's say I wanted to view 20 at a time. right? Oh, that's why it took a minute to load, is she's got 13,000 activity entries. But every time something happens, deleted a credit card number, added this, made a payment, the sequencer added this. Anytime something happens, it creates activity, right? Because you always need to know what happened and when. So imagine this client going, you didn't do nothing. And I can go, well, I did 13,000 things. This is all of the work that I did. So let's go to admin. And let me show you the campaign builder really quick, which is one of the major differences in Disco. You have statuses, scripts, sequences, forms, tags, triggers, milestones, notes, pages, emails, and activity buttons. All of those things can be used inside the system to make things happen, right? So if I've got a status, I've got tons of them. These are my actual client statuses, if anybody's looking. There they are. So if I wanted to add a new client status, I can say, okay, I want to call it this, right? This is my alert. So this status will alert. This will be the small text, and I'm going to enable the alert, right? Does this client status reach a milestone? Yes or no? Does this client status change the status? That's a little odd, I know, but you'll see this down here is called the campaign hub. Everything that you do can cause something to happen. Does this client status add a tag? Does this client status start a sequence? Well, let's say yes, it does. It starts a client status of in dispute. So if I marked that person as this status, it would automatically start a sequence. Now, we don't want that to happen, so I'm going to click cancel. But you're like, okay, great, Eric, but what's a sequence? Let's talk about that. I'm going to go into sequence, and I'm going to add a new sequence. Here are the things that you can make Disco do. We call them sequence steps. So I'm going to click add step. I can generate letters. I can run a delay timer. I can send an email. I can send a text. I can create tasks. I can change their status. I can add tags to Infusionsoft if you have Infusionsoft integrated. I can send an HTTP post. I can add or remove tags. I can start or stop sequences. I can turn their portal on or off. I can archive them. I can add notes. I can assign agreements to them, which would cause an agreement to pop up in their portal. I can add sequence notes. I can assign them to different people. I can convert a lead to a client. I can cancel a client. I can restart sequences. I can assign them to different people in my company. I can do all of those things for here. So you're like, wait a minute, Eric. So you're telling me that I could have a button that says start round 1. So let's say we have a sequence called start round 1. And the first thing that I want to do is put it in client sequences. I want to add a step of generating letters. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I clicked delay. My apologies. I'm going to add a step of generating letters. So I want to send the letters to the bureaus, right? I want to send bureau round 1. I want them to go to that addresses. I want to do the simple round 1 template. I want to include their ID docs. I do not want to include a power of attorney, and I want to add those letters to my batch print. Now, what I'm telling you is yes, you could click start round 1 and it would go and do this. Now, the difference is that it does do all items. So you can't pick and choose the items if you're doing generate round 1. But if that client wants all of their negative stuff disputed, then all you have to do is click round 1. You could create a button called, actually, let's just do it. I'll just do it. So now, let's say that the next thing that it does is it changes the client's status. Well, it would clearly change it to in dispute because now they're running. Save. Now watch this. I'm going to go over here to activity buttons. I want to have a new activity button, and I want to call it start round 1. It has no, this is for leads. You can say dial, connection, conversion, conversation, or conversion. The idea here is if you select one of these, we have a activity widget that lets you see your people's conversion ratios. So if they dialed, they connected, they had a conversation, or they converted, you can track that. This doesn't do any of those, so we're going to click none. Now, does this activity button start a sequence? Yes, it does. It starts a client sequence of start round 1. Click. It also adds a note. Started round 1 for this client. Period. We're going to show it only on client. Now, these are where that button will show up. If I click client, that button will only show up on clients. The reason is, why would I start round 1 on a person who was not a client? So I'm going to only start it on clients. Save. You see that I now have a button. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to my clients. I'm going to go to J. I'm going to click on her. I should have a shiny new activity button called Start Round 1. I am going to click that button, right? I clicked it. Now I'm going to go to Notes. I'm going to let it catch up with me. Notes. Oh, shoot. Guys, my apologies. I messed up. I did this wrong. I'm going to click Start Round 1. And I'm going to get a notification that asks me if I'm sure I want to do that. My apologies. I clicked out of it. It says started round 1 for this client. Do you want to set yourself a reminder? Yes or no? We don't for this one. The button actually fires when I click this. So I click Save. Great. Okay. I've got to clear some of this stuff out of here because she's got 13,000 records, so it's going a little slower. But I have now put in her stuff. I added a note to her file. It'll fire off. It'll run the sequence, and it will create letters for her. Right? That's it. That's all I had to do was click this one button, and I would have created letters. Done. That simple. Does that make sense to everybody? On why it's so powerful? Can you guys? I can't see the chat at all. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry if you tried dropping your client's Equifax result and it said file was too large. Okay, the file too large, guys, if you're trying to upload them as images, you're gonna kill me, right? A lot of times people scan them in as images and they're like very, very, like they're high definition images. Scan them in as documents, right? Scan them in as a document, compress that file down a little bit. Otherwise, Disco doesn't become free anymore. You guys get that the server space and all that stuff. Compress that document down, scan it as a document instead of an image, or upload it as a document instead of an image, and you'll see that most of the files will fit a lot better. Server space is expensive, guys. I've got to, otherwise, all of a sudden it starts, hey, Bobby, welcome. Otherwise, it starts, costing people money. I pay for Disco to be alive. So the fact that it's free, I actually get some flack about it because they're like, well, I don't know because he doesn't charge anything for it. So how are you making any money, dude? So they think I'm scamming them somehow. And I guess I get it, but that's just not really the purpose of why I built it. But like you guys kind of see, like this is why it works. This is how it works, is all of these things can interact with each other to start stuff happening, right? So if I go back to that, back to my campaign here, I've got client statuses, I've got scripts. If I'm creating a script, I can say add new script. I can put in variables, and then that script, just by running that script, let's say I have a script called welcome call script. Welcome call script. This is a script for the welcome call, period. And I'm going to put it in category test. I can create as many categories as I want. You get it. Now, by completing that script, I could have it reach a milestone. I could change the status. Now, if I've got a welcome call script, if I've got a status called welcome call complete, do I have one in here called welcome call complete? Okay. My welcome call is complete and I say that they are ready for audit. Okay. Now, just by completing that script, it would automatically tag that person as ready for audit. Or not tag them, that's the wrong word, my apologies. It would automatically change their status to ready for audit. And that would automatically, I would set it up to where that would automatically create a task for my auditor. So when my auditor logs in, they would see that they have a task. Now guys, up here also, batch print, now there's 6 letters in there. Remember, there was only 3 before and now there's 6. There they are. There's those 3 letters we just created. They're sitting there ready to be printed in batch print. I come down here, I can use variables of first name, last name. Guys, I can use their everything about them. I can put in their scores into the scripts. I can put their invoice balance into the script. So let's say that I have a script called, past due first call. I can put their invoice balance right into the script so that when my collections person or my processor's calling them, they can say, now we noticed that your invoice has a balance of blah, 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 blah. They can put it right there on the script. So they're not going and looking and searching and not knowing what to ask. When I hire somebody, I ask 2 questions. Can you read English? Yes. Can you follow directions? Yes. If they can do those things, they can work here because all they have to do is read the task and follow the directions. That's it. Now you might be wondering what some of this other stuff is. Archives, all it is let's say I've got a client list and I want to clean up my list a little bit. Let's say I'm not working with Candace anymore and I click archive. All it does is moves her off of my active client list and it moves her over into the archives. There she is. We didn't delete her. We didn't change anything. You can still go work on her. All it does is it cleans it up off of your active client list. That's going to make this load always load a lot faster. I know you guys have had, software out there where you're loading every client you've ever had every time you log in, and eventually it gets a little crazy, right? Because you're loading hundreds or thousands. Guys, when I load my client list, I've got to load 17,000. I got to load 17,000 records. So imagine trying to load all of those in my screen every time. I might only be working on 500 or 600 of those people. So if I'm loading 500 or 600, that's way easier than loading, 17,000 records. So it also makes my searching much, much faster. So I can search by, let's say I want to search by zip and I'm looking for 75411 or 75114. 751, there it is, zip 75114. Let's say I'm searching by phone number and I want anybody with a 214 number. There they are. Let's say I'm searching by email. I'm looking for anybody with a Gmail address. There it is. Let's say I'm searching by last name and I'm looking for Edwards, E-D-W. There it is. So the searching's really awesome. I can also multi-select, right? And I can do an action of, I can send them a text, I can send them an email. Guys, there are charges for the texts and faxing. It's just the way it goes. I have to pay for that, so you have to pay for that. That's business, you get it. Email, I can archive them, I can change their status, I can add a tag, I can import and export. That's right, guys, import and export. It's your data, I don't care. It's yours, take it with you, bye, right? If you want to import stuff, bring it in. There it is. So I could change the status of all of those. So now you might do it a little different where I was to create a tag called Start Round 1. Let's say I created a tag called Start Round 1. You realize that I could go boom, 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 boom. Whoops, don't open that person, close them. Boom. Yes, I know they don't have a status. I gotta not do this on my laptop. So I selected all my people and I came in and I clicked Start Round 1 tag, or I clicked add tag, and then it tells me what tag. And let's say I had a tag called Start Round 1 and I added that tag. Do Do you guys realize that by adding that tag, I would have just created round 1 letters for this person and that person and this person and that person and this person and that person and this person? When somebody goes, oh, we can, do letters in 17 seconds. I'm like, dude, okay, but I can create letters for every one of my clients at the same time if I so chose. So let's say that I had a status maybe called ready for round 1. Let's say that I had a status called ready for round 1. And I was to come in here and then search by status. And I searched ready for round 1. But just as a difference, I'm going to search in dispute. It brings up everybody who is active and has that status. I then just come over here and I click select everyone, I click action, I click add tag, and I just created letters for every single person that needs round 1 letters. Mind blown. Boom. It's over.
Thanks.
Did I mention also that I had on the Disco Premium, I had them set to fax. So when I click add tag, ready for round 1, it created all those letters and faxed them to the bureaus. You're done. So, and I didn't mean to get a little defensive when some people say, like the comment.
It's okay.
No, what was it? The bang for your buck comment, right? And I get it, right? I understand. People don't really get how powerful this is because they've not looked into the feature list of how it works. But when you understand that this is built to manage a business, this is not, I'm doing air quotes, credit repair software. This just happens to be software that does credit repair, but it's business management software. It's not credit repair software. It's business management software. I can also manage my system. I can do my item drop downs, my sources, my logos, social settings. I can share things social. I can do integrations. It integrates with Infusionsoft, Authorize.net, and it has its own API. So as long as your software out there has an API, you can post a new client, you can post a new lead, you can post a new affiliate, you can update a client, update a lead, update affiliate, add client tasks, or you can add notes. So from any other system, you can, here's what you do. Now, don't get me wrong. Do you need a software person to do this for you? Maybe. If you're kind of techie, maybe not. But it's there. So it's available. Here's where you can create all your agreements. You can create a different agreement for every state if you want to, all 50 states. Then when if you bring somebody on from Kentucky and you click assign credit repair agreement, it's going to assign the Kentucky agreement based on their address. Pretty awesome. You can also include other agreements, right? Now, let's say that I want to add a new agreement. I'm in here. I've got my elements and I've got my variables. So I'm going to create an element, title, spacer, divider, initial statement. This is pretty cool. So I want to create an initial statement called I understand this thing I have to click, right? Period. Save. Okay. Initial statement. Shoot. Save. You have to be in the box. I didn't click in the box. Then I want to come down here and I want to add a checkbox. Please select your plan. This plan. That plan. I want to add a tag of whatever. I can say I can create tags of my plans, so I can tag them as, we call our plans Smart Plan and Genius Plan. So I could add a tag of Smart Plan. If they select that, it will automatically tag them Smart Plan, and then it's going to send them the right information automatically. It's going to give my clients the Smart Plan info automatically. It's going to set them up on the Smart Plan billing automatically. It's going to set them up on Smart Plan task sequences for my processing automatically. That's it, right? I can add more options, and these are things that they have to select when they're filling out their documents, right? So this, and this. Save. Now I want to put in a mobile phone number. I can say, hey, put in your mobile phone here. I can ask them to put in information in their documents as well. I can also, and this is pretty awesome, but I can click IP address. Now what that's going to do, guys, is it's going to list the IP address that they were on when they signed that agreement. I can also click element, date timestamp, and then I can click element, signature box. Boom. When that person goes to log in, they're going to see all of that stuff. They have to initial here. They have to select here. They have to put their IP address and timestamp will automatically be filled in. And then there will be an e-signature box where they have to sign it with their mouse. That's what they would see, right? So preview portal view. They would have to sign like this, right? They can clear it. Okay, let me do that again. Counts. You get it. Clear. So you can preview it and see what you're going to do. Guys, is it easy to build all this stuff out? No. Is it worth it? You bet your ass it's worth it. Right? It's not about easy. It's about, I'm going to set up my company to where I can make a 7-figure revenue with 10 employees. Anybody else interested in doing 7 figures plus with 10 employees? We did right at 7 figures last year, and I really only had Steph, Karen, Penny, Tanya,
6 employees total.
And our 2 Filipino data entry clerks. I had 2 data entry clerks, my wife, a billing person, and a personal, like a customer care person, and a processor. 1 processor. Think about those things, guys. It's about automation. That's why Disco is so powerful. So, let's say you want to have partners, right? Affiliate program, built in. Billing setup, built in. When I say billing setup's built in, I can have products that I sell, like maybe I sell an ebook. I can sell it through here. Maybe I sell business credit. I can sell it through here. I've got my 2 statuses here. If I wanted to create a new status, I click Create New Status. It says, awesome. What do you want to name it? Well, I want to name it this. Do you want it default? No. Here's a description of it. Audit 1. Well, let's say I've got a sample audit, I've got a regular audit, and I've got an advanced audit. I charge $100 for my simple audit, so I'm going to put 100 there. I'm going to charge $200 for my advanced audit, and for my standard audit, and I'm going to charge $300 for my advanced. Right? Now, remember when I had to select 1, 2, or 3? It would automatically put that amount on the invoice based upon which audit you completed. Let's say I've got a file review fee, or let's say I want to charge them $5 every time I create a letter. Let's say I want to charge them $10 every time I create a creditor letter. Let's say I want to charge them a $100 enrollment fee. Let's say I want to charge them a $50 monthly fee. Let's say I don't want to charge an audit fee on that audit at all and I want it to be 0. Then I can do items. I can do a repair, a partial repair, or a deletion. Well, if I repair an original credit, I wanted to charge them $50. If I partially repair it, I don't want to charge them anything, but I want it to be shown on their invoice. I want it to be shown in their portal. I want them to realize that, yes, that item didn't go all the way to positive status, but it went part of the way. Or maybe you want to say, well, you know what? I did do some of it, so I'm going to do 20. If I delete it, I want to charge 50. And I can set that up for all of these different item types, right? And then I could say, collections, 50, right? Tab, shift tab. 50, 50, 50. Let's say it's all 50. Or whatever. There we go. You get it. It's all in there. And I click Save. Well, I just created this billing plan. Now, if I go into a client and I select the billing plan, anytime I mark something as deleted or anytime I do an action, it will use the fee from this. Right? So let's say that you want to host a big sale. All you have to do during that sale is just say, hey, who wants 25% off? You just create a billing plan called 25% off, and when those people sign up, you bill them at the plan of 25% off. And from that point forward, everything you do, you never have to remember that you offered them a discount. You never have to remember. Everything you do would automatically be billed at that level. Then you've got commission programs. I want to create a new commission program. I can pay up to 4 tiers. So first, second, third, and fourth tier. I can pay it by either amount or percentage. So on an audit, I want to give my affiliate 50% of the audit. There it is, first level. You know what? I don't want to do anything else. That's all I want to pay. Great, that's all I have to fill out. Now, if I want to pay 10% of all fees, well, then I have to go through here, and every time that there's a fee, I would have to select 10%, all the way down on what all we do, right? I can also select affiliate fees for my other products. So if, let's say I have an ebook, right? And this is an ebook, and I want to give my affiliate 20% if the person buys an ebook. Now, you can set it up in either dollars or percentages. I prefer percentages. Why? Well, it's really simple. If I give somebody a discount and I say, hey, look, yeah, we'll sign you up with no audit fee, but yet I'm still paying out a percentage, or if I'm paying out a dollar amount per audit, I'm losing money. But if I put somebody in and we discount their audit fee, and normally, it's $200 and we pay out a $50, but I've got it set up at 25%. Well, I know if they get their audit fee discounted to $100, then it's only going to set it up to pay $25, whatever that may be. You can set it up however you want. It's your affiliate program. Then all you have to do is go into your partner list and I don't have one in here, but let me add one. All I have to do is go in here, set them up, and then put them into a specific affiliate program. That's it. That's it. All I got to do, just put them in here. So here's their company. Here's their first name. Here's their last name. Whatever. I want to select a status. There, doesn't really matter. Now, this one, affiliate or referral partner, we offer both. The reason is some of your people you pay, some of your people you don't. If somebody's an affiliate, I pay them. If they're a referral partner, I don't. The only difference in the system is when they log in, affiliates see things like, hey, here's your commissions, here's your conversions for last month. Referral partners see like, hey, here's how your clients are doing. So this person is an affiliate. Affiliate manager is me, sales rep is me. I'm going to put them in with an email of this@that.com and save. So they're in there. There they are. There, all this stuff. Now, it sets as the default commission program. I can also then go change that to any other commission program that I want. So if you've got one affiliate that you pay completely different, guys, if you've ever managed an affiliate program, you know that one guy wanting something different screws your entire world up. Screws up your entire world because you're like, well, man, I would be willing to give it to you because of X, Y, or Z, but man, I've got my commission set up this way or that way. You can have a commission program that's set for one person if you want it that way. I could go and create Jim's affiliate program and pay Jim a special way, and then I can just come over here and mark him as that. And that's it. Now it would pay Jim that way on Jim's clients. I can also keep notes. I can view the leads that person sent, the clients they've sent. I can view their ledger. I can add a payment and tell that let's say I cut Jim a check. I just go, all right, add payment. I send him a check, right? And it was for $118. Save. Well, now Jim is going to have a balance in his ledger of negative $118, right? Because he had never sent me anything, so therefore I probably shouldn't have sent him money. But if we were to go attach Jim to a client and then mark some deletions and then mark that a payment had occurred, and guys, it's also built off adding the payment. It's not just the invoice, it's that the invoice was paid. Cool? It's awesome. You can have tasks and scripts and documents and all of those things for partners, just like you do for anybody else. So that's how you manage your referral system. You guys notice that I haven't even talked to you really about templates, because it's not about templates. Every software has templates. Now we do have a little bit different. We've got a thing called a smart template, which allows you to get really, really creative with how you build your letters. A smart template has sections. It's got an open, a body, and a close. So I could create 15 different opens, 15 different bodies, and 15 different closes. And then I can spin inside of those sections. So we've got a smart template. It's a round one smart template. And guys, if you try to figure out the variable number of how many different letters it would create, it errors out your calculator. It's billions of different options that it could create. without any letter ever being the same twice. But I stopped there for 1 second just for dramatic effect, right? You can create a round one letter, and you could use it for every client that you ever have, ever, and you would never give exactly the same letter. Never once. There you go. Let's see what else we could talk about, you guys, really quick. Talk about the portal. Portal is great. We have 4 different portals. We have a lead portal, a client portal, an affiliate portal, and a referral partner portal. The reason that lead and client are different is because you talk to a lead and a client differently, right? You talk to an affiliate and a referral partner differently. So if I want to edit what my client portal looks like, I just click Edit Client. Here they are. I can add widgets. I can move people. I can say, you know what? I don't want this up there, and I don't want that to show, and I don't want that to show. I don't want this to show at all, actually. Here's their milestone. It would show where they are, almost like a timeline, guys. It would show where they actually are in the process, so they can see it. Here's their score tracker over time. You can include a lot of different things. These down here, we just call them text boxes. So if I wanted to put in all of these variables, it wouldn't show hi Equifax score. It wouldn't show hi client first name, client middle name, client last name. It wouldn't show your email is client email. It would say, hey Jeff, your email is this, portal password is this, contact info is this, and look at all these different variables that you can use, right? How about their score description? Monitoring site description, their score descriptions, their status description. Your current status is this. That means that. When you can give a status and status description to somebody automatically in an email letting them know, hey, this is your status, here's what you can expect, guys, the complaints go down to nearly 0. Trust me. They can log out. Oh, I didn't mean to log out. I'm sorry. I wasn't actually logged in as a client. But if I did log in as a client, I want to log in as a client. So let's say that I log in as a client. And guys, I know I'm freezing up on you guys. I'm going to give you the recording from the machine. I don't know what's going on with my internet today, but I am just crawling. Crawling. Come on. Yeah, I've lost my internet. This is so frustrating. We're actually moving. This is the craziest thing that I've ever said. Yeah. I'm moving buildings because I can't get better internet. Like, I'm actually moving out of my current offices to new offices because I cannot get better internet. I have, are you ready for this? 13 gig maximum download. Or no, 13 megabyte maximum download.
13 gig is pretty good.
No, 13 gig is huge, right? I have 13 megabyte maximum download speed. It'll just crawl. It'll just freeze. Is it back? Come on, I'm frozen. My internet's gone. This is going to make for a really, really good demo. Guys, tons of people are using this. They're not having any trouble logging in. If you've got a good internet speed, you're going to be fine. It's not. There it goes. All right, it caught up with me. But this is what a client sees. Remember we moved? Yeah. Remember we got rid of all that stuff at the top, and then here's their stuff, and then this was just a bunch of junk down here. But now it actually shows, hey, your balance is this. And I was just throwing in junk so it would make sure that it, your monitoring site is ScoreSense, monitoring site model, credit expert score, score description. This educational score is provided to consumers through partnerships with other companies. Conclusions, this is that. Here's their score tracker. They can view their item manager. The great thing about it is they can't change anything. They can click around all they want, but they can't change anything. They can view notes, right? They can, here's a little something different. They can add a note to their own file. Why wouldn't a client be able to add a note to their file? Right? They want to add a note, that's great. You can set a trigger in your campaign, which I'll show you in just a second again, to when a client adds a note, you can make it automatically set a task. You can make it automatically send them an email that says, hey, we got your note, whatever. They can view their invoices, right? They can make a payment. They've got an invoice on this one. They want to make a payment, click. It opens right up. They want to use one of their cards on file, or they want to use a new card. They put in the number, they put in the amount that they want to pay, the billing address, and they click pay now, and boom. Right? Now, it's going to verify that it's a card, and in order for that button to show up, you do have to have your authorized.net integrated to the system. It's not hard to do that. But you can see they've got messaging, they've got training that you set, right? So you set this training, right? You set this education. You decide what shows here. So you can put videos in here for them. They can, click Ask the Expert. They can search through this. Let's say that here's this. It includes the word this. So if they come up here and they search the word this, look at that. It goes and finds it. So you can include information for them. You can include education for them. You can time release this stuff out in the campaign. So you could say, hey, Jeff, go log into your portal. I put a new video available for you. Let's say a client calls in and asks a question like, hey, my credit cards are blah, blah, blah. Can you give me a little more information on that? Actually, you know what? Let me make a video available for you in your portal. You click, you add a tag, it makes that video available in the portal. It sends them an email that says, hey, that video is now available in your portal, and they log in and they watch it. That's it. They can log in and watch the video. Do you guys realize now that your customer care is you do a better job with less time? You actually do a better job by being able to just go, oh, add tag, hey, that's available in your portal. The email automatically goes out. You don't have to remember. None of that stuff. Guys, there is no more powerful credit repair software, period. Zero, period. I don't care who says it. There's not. Right? There's just not. So, yeah, that's the portal. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to kind of take some questions real quick. See where we are. Yeah, I know. I'm going to shoot you guys out the recording. Is the fax sent to all three bureaus? It's only sent to bureaus where you... Equifax, Experian fax doesn't work all the time. Well, you're right. It doesn't. That's why it's nice to have a system that gets a response that says either that it went through or it didn't. And when it didn't, it tries again. And when it doesn't, it tries again. And when it doesn't, it tries again. And it also runs through all the different fax numbers that we have. So we keep an internal. Now, this is something that's done on the super admin level. So we keep an internal of what fax numbers are working. So let's say we have 6 different working fax numbers. It's going to try 1. If it gets declined or if it's busy, it's going to try number 2. If it gets kicked out or it's busy, it's going to try number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. And it's going to keep running until it times out, which it could do, which it's going to notify you it timed out. We tried, it never went through. You get a notification. However, it's going to just go through until it works. Brian, web forms. Absolutely. So I'm going to log back in here.
You can even talk about the new enrollment that's coming.
Oh, the enrollment process. Yeah, we didn't even talk about an embeddable enrollment process. Brian, yes, you go to admin, you go to campaign, you go to forms, ba-bum, add new form. Great. What kind of form? A new lead, a new client, or a new partner? Well, they're going to be a new lead. You have to tell the system what to insert them as. A new lead. Okay, great. You need what fields? Well, I want first name, email, and mobile phone. Cool. Next. Does this form reach a milestone? Does this form start a sequence? So you just by filling out the form, you can make it do all of the things, right? So yes, this form sends you've got a 7-part educational blah, 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 blah. And you've got that saved as a sequence in lead sequences, right? Now, I don't have any lead sequences in here. I've got some client sequences. But you could say, yeah, I want it to start this sequence, right? And then you click next. And then What do you want your form to do? Well, you can give it a heading. You can give it a submit. I don't want it to say submit. I want it to say start now, right? You can add a success message. You can also add a source to the form, right? So if it's linked from a Facebook ad, you can say Facebook ad, right? Success message, thanks. We will get that right out to you, period. Finish. Now, there is, guys, it's not my job to style forms. I don't know what your website looks like, so we give you an unstyled form code, right? Yes, if you put this code on your site, it's going to look like that. That looks like shit. Don't do that. Cool? Don't put that form on your site. It's not styled. But if you if you understand what you're doing with your forms, you would have styled it anyway. I don't style it because why? It's not going to look right on your website if I style it. So there's your code. That code can be styled into your form. The other thing that you can do is if you are tech savvy, then all you're really going to do is you're going to go admin system integrations API. And you're just going to build a form and you're going to post it as a new lead, because you can have any field you want. You can post it as a new lead, right? All of their identifying fields can be posted as a new lead. I can post a new client. I can, update a client. I can update an affiliate. I can add a client task if I want to, or a client note, right? So if I'm techie at all, I know how to use the API to have any other system out there talk to Disco. You can manage your bureau addresses. You can also add custom fields. Guys, you can have your own fields. Let's say that you have some field that no other company wants or needs. You can add a new custom field. I want a custom field of this custom field, and I want it to only show on leads, right? Or maybe I want to show on leads and clients. Save. Well, now this custom field is a thing. So if I come back over here to my clients, and I look at David, and I scroll down here. Yes, I know he doesn't have a status. But look at that, this custom field. And if I gave him, and if I edited David, let me edit him. This custom field is this. Save. And now this custom field, there it is. There's David's custom field. So you can create custom fields that display on your clients, custom fields that display on your leads, custom fields that display on your partners, whatever. If I want to turn somebody's portal access off. Now it's off. Here's their password. Here's their login info. It tells you when they last logged in. Okay, now I want to show you real quick before I pull this to a close, because it's been very kind of everywhere. I know that. It's not really built to be a full-on, this is the system. It was to show you some of the power. But I'm going to show you what triggers are, right? Triggers include my triggers and system triggers. We're going to start with system triggers. Audit completed. Anytime an audit is completed, it would do whatever I tell it to do. Well, what do I want it to do? Do I want it to reach a milestone of audit complete? Do I want it to trigger some sequence? Do I want it to change a status? Do I want it to add tags? What do I want to happen when an audit is completed? What that means is earlier when we ran that audit, when I click submit, whatever I told this action to do, it would automatically happen. Let's say the client adds a note in their portal. Let's say that the client completes an agreement in their portal. Let's say the client goes X number of days without logging into their portal. So I click this. If the client doesn't log into their portal for 30 days, I want it to do something. Hey, where you been? We noticed you're not logged in. It's interaction, guys. It's communication. That's what makes for happy customers. What about client makes a payment, right? We can start a sequence. We can make a thing happen. What about client uploads doc? Confirmed client login trigger. Okay, so here's the difference between login trigger and confirmed login trigger. If a client login trigger, that means that they've started and they've never logged in. Once they log in the first time, they're considered a confirmed client. We know that their login works. It's not that they're having trouble logging in, it's that they haven't and they're not logging in. So let me give you a list really quick of all of these different things. So you could file review completed, lead converted to client, letters created, manual payment failed, monitoring account marked as inactive, new invoice created, new activity, new activity on lead, no activity. So you could say if there's no activity on a client for this many days, guys, I hate to say it, back to the embarrassing thing, but sometimes people fall through the cracks and it goes 35 days without activity. You understand, especially if you're monthly and you did no activity in that month, you just broke the law. I don't care that, oops, I forgot. That means you charged for a month where you did no activity. So you better be able to show activity on that client. Okay? Partner adds a lead, partner adds a note. All of these things would automatically run. So you sent letters to client, you score trigger, right? Score trigger, check this out. Edit. If a score on Equifax is above 700, I want it to do this. If it has to be on all bureaus. If the score on all bureaus is above 700, I want it to run the Welcome to the 700 Club sequence. Whatever. Maybe it's just hey, congratulations, all your scores are now above 700. Whatever. Way to go, right? But it would do whatever I tell it to do. These are the system triggers. Now you can also build what we call my triggers. My triggers are extremely powerful. They're if-thens. So if a lead is status warm, or if a client is status new primary, right? I want to add another condition, and is tagged client created, and is not tagged kill switch, right? We created a tag called kill switch. It's not in your system. You'd have to create it, but we created a tag called kill switch. All it does is it stops all sequences from running. It stops everything. It's a true kill switch. We created a tag called kill switch. So, but if client is status this, and is tagged this, and is not tagged that, I want it to do this. Right? I can make it do anything that I want. Yes, I understand the learning curve. I understand that you have to then sit down and work. Welcome to it. Sit your asses down and work. It took me almost right at 4 weeks to build mine out. But you know what? Now I don't have to do it anymore. Now when stuff happens, it just happens. Now I'm able to, run my business with so many fewer employees, save myself a ton of money, provide really great customer service, do a better job. I actually do better for my clients because I don't ever forget. I don't forget to run the letters. I don't forget to do the task. I don't forget to do the things. Guys, that is the power of Disco. It also, this one will be for you, Brian, especially. It has a drag and drop page builder. So I can add a new page, come right here. It loads it up. Yours will run faster than mine. I'm so ready. We're putting fiber optics in the new building. But you come over here, you say, all right, I want some headers. There's some different headers you can choose from. Okay, I want this header, and I want an intro. Oh, this one's pretty cool. I'll put that right there. And I want a content area. Oh, this is pretty neat. Let me put that right there. And then I'm going to I want to edit the content. So I'm going to say, I don't want that to say this. I want this to say new credit, new life, save, boom, right? And then enter your email. Now watch this, guys. These are Disco forms automatically. So if I click this, it's going to say, hey, what do you want that field to be? Well, maybe all I want is a phone number, right? I want their mobile phone number, and I want it to say, enter your phone. Mobile phone. Apply changes. Enter your mobile phone number, right? Maybe that's all I needed to do, and everything else I want to be the same. Or I can say, you know what, let me do the content. I want this to be something different. I don't want that to say that. I want it to say this. Save content. Now, Are you ready for some freaking super awesome power? Let's say that I want to put in variables. You know, like the contact's name, right? Their status. Guys, I can build custom pages to where they get information about themselves on the page. That's freaking awesome. Click. So save. Then I can make that form do something. So let's say, you'll notice, see how it clicks the whole thing, and then there's the button, and then there's the form? All you have to do is just, you're over the whole thing. Click it, form builder, right? Enter the form type. Do I want that form to reach a milestone? Do I want that form to start a sequence? Do I want that form to start a status? Do I want that form to add tags? What do I want that form to do? Okay, well, let's say I don't want anything. But let's say I come right here and I go field builder, add a field. Now, you wouldn't do that on this particular form because it's built with a style of only one, right? It's just the way that it works. But you could probably... no. Anyway, but you could do that, right? You can go in, you can change the code if you needed to. So if I'm back on elements, I can go view the source, and I can change it if I want to here. If you're not techie, just work with what you got. Work with, this is a great video background. It's a great, pieces of content. Work with what's there. If you don't know how to change it, just don't change it. Okay? I can preview that page. No, shoot. I can't because I didn't save that one, but you get the idea. I can build pages. Let me show you a built-out page. Not saved any pages. You get it. I can build pages. Let's put it at that. Now, I can do the same thing for emails. Watch this. Emails, they use the same type of builder, but it's different content. It's content that can be used inside of emails. So I come over here. We just alpha, beta, gamma, delta. You get it? Alpha. Those look like that. There's the content you can use inside of emails. I want to, let me just empty this page. Yes, I want to delete all that. I want to come over here, and I want to use alpha. I could say, hey, this is a fun email header, right? And then I want to use alpha. I really like this to go below it, right? And then it would run down through here, and I can build an email that way. Again, I can put in variables. All I got to do right there. So I could say, hey, contact first name, ... Cool. Save content. Boom. And when it emails them, it's not going to say, hey, contact first name. It's going to be like, hey, Jeff, or hey, Frank, or Bill, or Tom, or Joe, or Sam, whatever you want. This creates some really great, guys, look at the, here's, look at this stuff. Golly, my internet is crawling. I'm so sorry, guys. But you can see all of the stuff that you can use. It's all built in there for you. Tons of it. And then not only that, how cool, let's say that, let's say you did want to use something like that table. Where was that at? Gamma, maybe? No? Epsilon? There you go. Let's say you want to grab this and you want to put it here. Right? Then all I have to do is go content, click. I don't want that to say starter package. I want it to say smart plan. I don't know, did I? Right? I want it to say smart plan. Well, great. Now I'm going to send out an email about my smart plan, and I'm going to tell them about it. Okay? That's some pretty awesome power as well. No, I don't want to save that. In the sequences, when I'm adding or selecting a sequence, when I want to send an email, I just go add step, send an email. I select who I want it to go to. The contact. Do I want it to go to the contact's partner, their sales rep? Who do I want to send this email to? Well, I want to send it to the contact. Great. I can select the sender. I can send it from their partner, from the sales rep, from sales manager, from the owner. I can send it from anybody I want. This one we're going to say comes from customer service. Now, I can add a subject of this is the subject, I can then either type the email or I could click custom. And any email that we've created over in the builder would be listed out right here. And I could just go click, I want that one, boom, and then it would send that email at that time. Then I could say, man, after it does that, the next thing I want to do is I want it to wait. Well, how long do you want it to wait? I want it to wait 2 days. But you know what? I don't want it to run on a Sunday. Like, I don't want to tell them to call my office on a Sunday. So I'm going to make it run on a weekday at a specific time. I want it to run at 3 o'clock p.m. So at 3 o'clock p.m., it would do the next thing. So it would send the email, then it would wait till the following weekday. Then I want it to send a text. Now, guys, again, text, you do have to have credits. So that's one place where there is a charge inside of Disco, is to use the text feature. But I could say, hey, go check your portal or whatever. I could send them a text. It doesn't get more powerful than this. All right, so that's the quick thing. What can I expect to receive as far as the letters in Disco Premium? How can I import a client's credit report? I'm not familiar with the CV conversion. If it is able to import reports, which sites would it extract from? Guys, that's a great question. We built an importer, and the site that we built the importer for got sued by the FTC. It's kind of a mess, so we're working on a new one. There will be a new site that allows you to update and import the report. Bobby, the thing that I would tell you is, if you're worried about importing the reports, that's not, you shouldn't really be doing that. That's a data entry thing, right? Which, get yourself a data entry clerk out of the Philippines for $3 an hour. That's what I would tell you. It's data entry, it's $3 an hour. As far as what to expect with the letters in Disco Premium, it's 100% compliant. Brian, it's 100% compliant letters. So what that means is some of the stuff that you've seen out there will not be inside of Disco. If it's not compliant, it won't be in here.
There may be some new compliant material.
Yeah, now there's some really awesome compliant material in there, but you're not going to get anything that's not compliant. So if you upload your templates and you do whatever you want, that's between you and the Federal Trade Commission and the Attorney General's office. That's between you. I'm a software provider. But the ones that are provided are going to be very, very compliant. And inside Disco Premium, it's going to automate 6 rounds. So it'll automate 6 rounds of letters for you. So you'll be able to go through 6 rounds. After that, guys, after 6 rounds, you guys understand that there's nothing that can be automated, because you've got to start actually looking at the item. You've got to start really looking at not only the item, but what are they saying? What did they do? How did they respond? We're going to build you guys 6 kind of, I don't want to call them generic because it's going to be based on items and stuff, but we're going to build you guys 6 generic rounds, yes. But the Disco Premium is going to be about moving people through a process, not about these magic bullet letters that you may have heard about. How are we collecting the credit card info? We are not. It puts it directly into your authorized.net. So we pass it one time to authorized.net. It's not stored on our system or your system at all. You must have authorized.net, and you must have the customer information manager.
PCI compliance.
It's 100% PCI compliant. No, you can also run the charges right inside. So if I go to their portal, or if I go to the client, no, I don't want to save that, and I go to somebody with a balance, they can pay in the portal, sure, or I can come over to their billing, close, and I can come over here to one-time payment. So there's one-time payment, click, and I can run a payment just like this.
Or recurring bill.
I can also close. I can also set up auto billing. And guys, when I talk about auto billing through here, again, you must have authorized.net. You must have the customer information manager. You must have both of those. Click auto billing. Watch this. We can do recurring, or we can do balance payoff. Now, if I click balance payoff, You notice that the balance over here on this invoice was $3,500 and change. I can set it to a certain date, like to bill on the 10th of the month each month. Now you'll also notice it only goes to the 28th. You guys get why. It goes up to the 28th. So first of the month, or I can set it to a certain number of days. I want it to bill every 30 days starting after 5 days, as long as the invoice has a balance. Right? As long as the invoice has a balance. The idea behind that is if I was to come down here and put my amount in as $100, it would bill this client $100 35 times, and then it would bill the $88 and change. If I put it in as $200, it would bill this client $200 17 times, and then it would bill $188 and change. That's balance payoff. It will never charge more than what is on the invoice. It allows you to be pay for delete, but it also allows you to run payments. The power behind that is awesome. So then you just select which card you want to do. If you select the card, it takes away the card payment and stuff like that, and then you just click create. Now I'm not going to do that because those are actual real cards that I've put in to test stuff, so I don't feel like charging myself. But there you go. It would just automatically balance payoff. It would charge $200 every 30 days after 5 days. So it would count 5 days. It would charge $200. It would count 30 days. It would charge $200. It would count 30 days. If you set this as 0, then it would charge it on the first day. There you go. You can also edit your invoices. So if you make a mistake on something, or if somebody calls and they're griping about a particular item, right, or they're griping about a particular fee. Now, guys, we've got tons of stuff because we were trying to break it. You get the reason that it's all, there's stuff everywhere on this file. But watch this. Item fees, deleted 190, deleted 18, deleted, it was partially repaired here. It was deleted over here. It was deleted on Equifax and deleted here. Here's the total for the item. I can then edit that and go, you know what? This, right? Save. There you go, right? So different things. And then I can also come down here and click add a payment or add a credit. So if you add a credit, it's not necessarily a payment, and you don't want that brought into your system as a payment. It's a credit. So I can add a credit, description of, whatever, I gave you a credit. Hey, we issued you a $50 credit. Save. Well, now, let me get back down there to their amounts. We added them a credit of $50. There it is, and you notice it dropped their amounts. It changes the invoice. You can edit stuff. You can delete stuff. If they pay with a check, you can mark the check as returned, and it still shows up on the invoice. It changes the balance back, but it marks the check as returned. So they actually see, okay, here's my check, here's where it was returned, my balance went back up, but that check still stays on the invoice. That's really important for them to see. If you want to add a payment to the invoice, you just click add payment. Alrighty, that's kind of a quick once on the billing. How are you collecting your signed credit card authorizations? I don't. I collect them through my signed agreement. I believe in e-signatures. I believe that I can accept an e-signature. And that's, I guess, between me and whoever tells me that I can't. But if you want to select something else, that's great. You can set the system up to email them out a document automatically. You can have them fax that back in, or send it back in, and then you can store that into their documents, put it into their record, and then there you go. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not saying that it is, or I'm not providing legal advice at all. I believe in e-signatures. I believe that when the e-sign act says that e-signatures are valid, I believe that means all contracts, or they would have said, hey, e-signatures are valid except for, this or this or this. So that's just me. Any other questions? We'll go back to, again, the difference being premium versus, standard is on the premium. This stuff is going to be built out. If you've ran a business for a while and you've got all of your sequences and you know your processes and all of those things, guys, Disco Premium might not be for you. It really might not. Because we don't know your processes. We don't know that you do a certain thing a certain way. If you don't do things, if you're just trying to get this stuff built out and you're trying to do automation, Disco Premium is probably for you, because we're going to hand you a pre-built system. So it's going to already have client statuses, and it's already going to have follow-ups, and it's already going to have those sequences. It's already going to have that stuff in it.
With the dispute sequences.
With the dispute sequences in it.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's the way it goes.
Realest guys in the room. How you doing?
Any other questions before we jump off here? No? Alrighty. You bet, buddy. Did it help you grasp it better on why I kind of talk so highly of it?
Good.
Bobby said, I see it now. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to get you out. I'm going to get you guys out the link to a recording. I'll just upload this to YouTube somewhere and get you guys out a recording of it. I'm really sorry about the internet here. It's stupid. It blows.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. I can't believe I have to say that I'm actually moving my office because the internet is so bad here. But I appreciate you guys. Well, we have the same success as Credit Nerd software. It does a lot, and I think within a week I can learn all the functionality. Well, we have the same success as Credit Nerd software. I guaranteed or your money back, right? Yeah, guaranteed. The software guaranteed or your money back because it's zero. So, if you build out the functionality, I don't know why you wouldn't have the success. I'm using the same info that we use. How's that? Like, I used my system to mirror over the processes. So, all right, guys. Disco Premium is $297 if you want it. Disco is free. Right? Hear me out. Disco is now and always will be free. However, if you want something extra, you can buy that. It's the Disco Premium. Right now, it is $297, and what that does is it secures your spot for a March 12th release. It also secures you a $297 for life cost, right? It's $297 a month for as long as you want to keep it active. If you don't do the pre-launch, right, Disco is going to have, it's going to be $997 and $497 a month. And people are like, $500 a month? What? That's crazy. Until they see what it does, and I save them, 3 or 4 employees, and I save you $3,000 or $4,000 a month in payroll. So if you do the Disco Premium before February 4th, then it's February 1st. 6th. It's 6th. That's right. I'm sorry, guys. If you do the Disco Premium before February 6th, we can lock you in as an early adopter, basically. If you don't, then it won't. That is the date. Am I going to provide a list of what's included with the premium? Yes. What's included with the premium is sequences, statuses, pages, like your follow-up with your referral partners, your follow-up with lead management sequences, an hour
of customization.
An hour of customization where we sit down and go, okay, what do you do? Do you have an affiliate program? Yes, I do. Great. How does that work? What do you pay? And we can set that up for you. Yeah, I mean, I'll put together a list because I'm totally fine with that. But guys, the idea behind it is a person should be able to sit down with Disco Premium, turn it on, put in a client, and work.
Ready.
Business ready. That's the idea. Business ready. Turnkey. Tasks, reminders. Um, yeah, you have till February 6th. And I'm not being
Well, the first 50 or
the first 50, and we're getting actually really close to that.
Yeah,
so don't hear that you have until February 6th, because we were really clear on the post when we first released it that it's up to 50, and I'm pretty
Or
sure
till February
that we're getting kind of close to that. So it's up to 50 or February 6th, whichever comes first. There you go. Well, I mean, make up. I'm not trying to use a scarcity tactic on you. That's not what I mean. Heck, we might not fill it up. We might. I've got, a lot of people are interested. We might not. I truly don't know. So I don't mean that as a scarcity, pay now. I don't mean that. I'm never gonna be that way. You got it. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to bounce off here. I'll get this uploaded. And then if my internet goes a little faster, I will get it uploaded quickly. If it doesn't, it'll be just a little bit. But I will get it uploaded, and I'll get you guys a link out to it. Talk to you soon, and thanks for coming in.
Are you done recording?